Pete Hegseth is co-host of Fox & Friends Weekend and joins me now. Pete, I don't think it's much comfort to the families of those 5 who were killed at this parade to hear that this time they've learned their lesson and they're going to try to post bail or create a bail situation that is so high that he won't be able to meet it.
Of course there's no comfort, and good morning, Martha, but this is, for him to say what he said about setting it too low is denying his entire track record as Milwaukee County District Attorney, John Chisholm. This is a guy elected in 2007 to be a progressive. In fact, he's said that he inspired, DAs in San Francisco, St. Louis, and Philadelphia, the whole progressive movement that later was much funded by George Soros. He acknowledged that things like this would happen, Martha, in 2007 when he was elected to I'll read this from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. He said, "Is there going to be an individual I divert or put into a treatment program who's going to go out and kill somebody? You bet, guaranteed, it's going to happen. It's not, but it does not invalidate the overall approach." His philosophy, like other progressive district attorneys, has been to err on the side of the criminal. Let the criminal out time and time again. Blame societal issues, anti-racism, all the other buzzwords they use to be on the side of the criminal. And in this particular case, what he said in 2007 has become tragically true. He had a violent background, multiple times, 2 open felonies at that moment, both of which were violent, punching his girlfriend in the face and shooting at his nephew's car. Yet he was released for $500, easily released, and he went out and killed people. Utterly preventable. Our justice system should be set up to prevent these types of things. That's what is so stinging about this whole thing. It didn't have to happen.
These poor innocent people that got into his path, and you hear about these individuals, and it almost feels, Pete, like he was crying out to be put away. I mean, every single time he was released on bail, he did something else. He shot at his nephew, and the list goes on, as Mike Tobin just reported. But now we know that he, as you say, was out on bail just a few days before this parade attack, and critics are tearing into 2 members of the squad, the so-called squad, for pushing radical prison changes and bail reform. Here's Rashida Tlaib on criminal justice proposals in an interview that she did that aired Monday. Watch and listen to this closely, folks.
Everyone's like, oh my God, we're going to just release everybody. That's not
what
the
fact
Yeah,
says.
but did you see how many people are mentally ill that are in prison right now?
No, I know, but the act that you endorsed actually says release everyone in 10 years.
But in 10 years, but think about it, who are releasing?
But there are like human traffickers,
oh, I know,
child sex. So, but you're saying, do you mean that you don't actually support that? Your proposal is so sweeping. It does release everyone. And what I'm trying to say to you
is within 10 years, and obviously there's a process of looking at how can we get away from mass incarceration and move towards care first.
I love it, Pete, when he says these are human traffickers, and she goes, "Oh, I know." Now, this is from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. When prosecutors seek excessive cash bail, it results in increased rates of incarceration, particularly for low-income defendants. And now you've got this case where Mr. Chisholm, the DA, says, you know what, it was an inappropriately low bail that was set.
But he's the one that said it. He's the one that set the precedent. He's the one that said, excessively high for first-time offenders. I don't know, how about a dozen offenses? How about multiple violent offenses back to back to back? Like you said, it almost like he wanted to be arrested. That's how aggressively he flaunted the law. And in Rashida Tlaib's case, she wants to empty the prisons. I mean, this is who the hard left is. This is who the socialist squad is. They ultimately want to defund the police and let the criminals out of jail, doing it all under the guise of anti-racism, when all we're talking about is black or white, is abiding by the law. And the point of bail is to prevent a portion of it is to prevent reoffenders or prevent someone from being released because they're a menace to society. It's not that hard, and DAs have done it for quite some time, but this is an intentional progressive attempt to, you heard it, she said it, empty out prisons. To go where? Reimagined into what new community-based model that has worked? No one wants excessive prison use. But when you have crime and you enforce the law, you're going to have that.
Yeah, imagine how angry these families are when they hear about what happened in the criminal justice system in Wisconsin, and they know that if it had been prevented, their loved one would still be alive for this Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, Pete,
yes.
Kyle Rittenhouse is calling out the president over this 2020 campaign video where the then candidate, Joe Biden, suggested that Rittenhouse was a white supremacist. Watch.
Mr. President, if I could say one thing to you, I would urge you to go back and watch the trial and understand the facts before you make a statement. It's actual malice, defaming my character for him to say something like that.
And don't forget what many in the media said about Rittenhouse. MSNBC's Tiffany Cross called him a, quote, little murderer, white supremacist. The same network's national security analyst wrote, quote, a 17-year-old showing up in a protest with an AR-15 is not law and order. That's chaos and disorder. And a CBS correspondent said Rittenhouse drove in from Illinois armed for battle, which we know is just factually inaccurate. Rittenhouse called out all of that. Watch this.
It's actually quite hysterical how nobody can go back and look at the facts of the case. He crossed state lines, false. He's a white supremacist, false. None of that is true. And the lies that they can just get away with spreading is just sickening, and it's a disgrace to this country.
Pete, what did you think about what he had to say on his behalf?
He's right. I thought he did a phenomenal job last night, not just in the trial, which we all walked, but last night on Tucker's show, laying out what his motivations were, why he acted when he did. He pointed out that there are no winners in this. This is self-defense. And that's obviously not what he wanted to go down. I hope he's teeing up the mother of all lawsuits. I hope he puts all of these media outlets on notice, because everyone has a bias or an opinion that shades them in one direction or another. But your opinion is not entitled to your own facts. And when you knowingly misrepresent the facts, or you get ahead of yourself and then you're unwilling to correct them because you don't want to change your narrative, now you're defaming somebody. And Kyle Rittenhouse has that, to include then candidate Joe Biden, before he was president, making statements like that and making no effort to correct them. This is a smart kid who clearly wants to move on with his life, but on behalf of other people who will be defamed by a media that feels completely unaccountable and is untethered to facts right now, I hope he does bring the mother of all lawsuits. And I think it's worth pointing out that the Fox News channel does a really good job determining facts and waiting when pointing out what's happened in any particular case. Maybe the other networks might want to take a lesson. Maybe watch for a little bit and see how it's done.
I think you're absolutely right. I think we did a very good job at looking at this in a very even-handed way from the beginning, and I do think that they could all learn a lesson from that. It's what the profession is all about. Pete, thank you very much.
Right.
Always good to see you,
Martha.
sir. Thank you very much.